Okay, ladies and gentlemen of geometry, of algebra 2, this is Mr. Heron, and I am going to be talking to you about these things. I'm going to have two variable inequalities and absolute value equations and inequalities. So what you're looking at is inequalities is the stuff you've seen before in algebra 1 and a little bit in geometry. Absolute value equations and inequalities, they're a new wrinkle. So let's kind of get into it and see what we got with them. So graphing the inequality. So it's a little bit different than what you're used to. So what I'm looking at is this. So what I want to do, I can subtract 3x, negative 2y less than or equal to negative 3x plus 18, and then divide everything by negative 2. And then in doing that, it becomes y, flip the sign, 3 halves x minus 9. So what that becomes is this. So I'm at negative 9. So I'm going to go up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. So then this means it's going to be a solid line right through here. And then to figure out which way to shade, I like testing a point. So I'm going to test it back into here. So I'm going to test 0, 0. So 3 times 0 minus 2 times 0. And then is that going to be less than or equal to 18? So is 0 going to be less than or equal to 18? That is true. So that means 0, 0 is true. So I'm going to shade towards that. So that's what that one looks like. So all I did was a little bit of algebra to move that around. So now graphing inequalities, this is kind of a review for you guys. So a couple things to remember. One is that this is going to be dotted. This is going to be a solid line. So graphing here, what I can do is this, is I can say, I can use intercepts first. So I can say, let x equal 0, figure out what y is, so 3y. It basically kind of equals 6, so y equals 2. So y equals 2 right here. So if y equals 0, so 2x equals 6, x is going to equal 3. So there's my intercepts, and there's my dotted line right there. So boom, 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 boom. So it's going to be a dotted line just like that. And then what I'm going to do is test 0, 0. I like testing 0, 0 because it's an easy point to test. So if I got 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 greater than 6. Well, is 0 greater than 6? No. So I mean 0, 0 doesn't work. The origin does not satisfy the condition. So I'm going to shade away like that. So that's what that one's going to look like. So now here, using intercepts, again, what I want to do is this. Again, I want to take, let x equal 0, figure out what y is, let y equal 0, figure out what x is. So if x equals 0, that means 2y equals 4, so y equals 2. So that's right there. Y equals 0, so negative x equals 4, so x equals negative 4. Right there. Dotted line. So that's supposed to be dotted, despite what it looks like. There you go. That's a little bit more dotted. So then test 0, 0. So I'm going to test the origin here. So is negative 0 plus 2 times 0 greater than 4? So is 0 greater than 4? Absolutely not. So that's false. So that doesn't work, so I'm going to shade away. And if you actually shade in or just draw arrows, I honestly don't care. Whatever is more comfortable for you. So Manny has $15 to spend at a fair, $5 for admission, 75 cents for each ride ticket, 25 cents for each game ticket. Write inequality for the number of ride and game tickets he can buy. So, write inequality for the number of ride and game tickets he can buy. Well, he's got 15 bucks. It costs $5 for admission. So he's only got $10 left to goof around with. So he's got to top out at that. So everything's got to be less than or equal to 10. So then if I let each ride ticket be X and let each game ticket be Y, it's just going to be 0.75X plus 0.25Y less than or equal to 10. So what's the maximum number of ride tickets? What's the maximum number of game tickets? So ride tickets kind of goes like this. So ride tickets means he's going to buy 0 game tickets. Okay, so 0 game tickets. So basically what happens is 0.75x plus 0.25 times 0 less than or equal to 10. So a little bit of work here. I'm going to get rid of that. So x is going to be less than or equal to 13.3. So the maximum amount of game tickets can be ride is going to be 13. I put 13, not 0.3, because you can't buy 1/3 of a ticket. That's not how it works. So game tickets is kind of that same thing flipped around. So it'd be 0.75 times 0. That means he bought no ride tickets, plus 0.25 times y less than or equal to 10. So that goes away. Divide by 0.25, divide by 0.25. So each one costs a quarter. So 10 divided by that is going to be 40. So we could buy 40 game tickets if we wanted. All right, so this is kind of the big key here is what is my limit? What can I do from there? All right, so absolute value function shift. So when you have the absolute value, so the graph of the absolute value looks like a perfect V. All right, so then you have different ways of moving this around. So kind of what I like to do is say this, x plus h plus k. H is going to move left or right, k is going to move up or down. All right, and h is the opposite of what's there. Okay, and k is going to be the same. So when I look at y equals absolute value of x plus 5 plus 7, what this is actually going to do is move it 5 left, so you go negative 5 and then up 7. So my vertex is actually going to be negative 5, 7. So if I look at it in a graphing calculator, a lot of you guys, if you say abs, if you look for that function, I can show you where that is on most of them. So if you go abs of x plus 5 plus 7, graph that, that'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So here, opposite of this, exactly the same as this. So this is going to move 1 left, 2 down. So right there. Now, other than that, it's still going to go open up. So it's still going to be boom, boom. Perfect diagonal, just like that. So graph x minus 4 plus 1. So that's going to be actually right 4 and up 1. Okay, so that's going to start right here. Perfect V this way. Perfect V this way. All right, hopefully your line's a little bit straighter than mine. It's hard drawing on this thing sometimes. So number 9, ooh, I threw a 2 out front. So now this is not going to be, it's not going to move left or right, okay, but it's going to go down 3. And this 2 in front is going to actually make it more narrow. Okay, so my original graph is going to be just down 3, so I'm going to go right here. Now, but instead of being a perfect V where you go over 1 and up 1, then you do the same thing over here, you go over 1, up 1. What I want to do is actually want to go over 1 and up 2. So that's going to go like this. But now also check that this is going to be an inequality. All right, so what that means is I've got to test a point. So test 0, 0. Is 0 greater than negative 3? Well, yes. So 0, 0 works. So I'm going to shade inside of here. That's what that's going to look like. All right. Okay, so, sorry. Jump over here. One tutoring company advertises that specializes in helping students 900 or less, so 900 is included in there. So combined scores of students who are prospective tutoring clients, X verbal, Y math, So you want x plus y less than or equal to 900. So if you got 480 math, 410, does that fit in the guidelines? So that's 480 plus 410, that's 890. Yes, you definitely fit within the company's guidelines, but not by much. So graph y less than x plus 1. So y less. So all I do is that just moves the whole thing up. And sorry, a mistake I made on that before. This should still be a dotted line. So this should be a dotted V here. Okay, and it's a straight diagonal. Straight diagonal. And that should be a dotted line. So then I want to test a point here. So a 0 less than 0 plus 1. 0 less than 1. Yes, that's true. So that means 0, 0 works. That means I want to shade this way. So that's what that one looks like. So if I try this one on my graphing calculator, this one ends up being here, negative 3, not that, not 2, stop it. So negative 3. Then remember, it's going to go over 1 up 2. So it's going to be a dotted line up, dotted line up, dotted line up. So a 0 going to be greater than 2 times 0 minus 3 is 0 greater than negative 3. Yes, that's true. So I want to shade inside there. All right, test your points. Test, make sure that you're using the right one. So like that one should be dotted. Play around with this a little bit. Get comfortable with the graphs. And then come talk to me with questions.